Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, a novel by Sing-Shong. Chapter 1. Prologue. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. There are 3 ways to survive in a ruined world. I have forgotten some of them now. However, one thing is certain. You who are currently reading these words will survive. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. Complete! A Webnovel platform filled the screen of my old smartphone. I scrolled down, then up again. How many times have I been doing this? Really? This is the end? I looked again, and the complete was unmistakable. The story was over. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. Author, TLS123. 3,149 chapters. 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World was a feature-length fantasy novel with 3,149 chapters. Its shortened name was Ways of Survival. I have been steadily reading this novel since 3rd year of middle school. Even when I was bullied by the delinquents at my school, even when I had to enter a 3rd-rate local university since I screwed up my entrance exams, even when I was assigned to a military unit at the front lines since the damn military draft lottery went wrong, and even now, working as a contractor for a large subsidiary, still without a full-time job. Damn it. Let's stop thinking about this. Anyway, author's words. Thank you so much for reading Ways of Survival up to here. I will come back to you with an epilogue. Ah, the epilogue still remains. Then the next chapter is really the last one. From the end of my childhood all the way to adulthood, a long journey spanning over 10 years, I felt a mixture of desolation that a world was coming to an end, along with the sense of fulfillment from finally being able to reach the conclusion of that world. I opened the comment box for the last chapter and rewrote a sentence several times. Kim Dokcha writes, "Writer, thank you for everything in the meantime. I'm looking forward to the epilogue." They were sincere sentences. Ways of Survival was my life's novel. It wasn't the most popular, but it was the best novel for me. There were many words I wanted to say, but I couldn't write them. I was afraid that my careless words would hurt the writer. An average of 1.9 hits per chapter. An average of 1.08 comments. This was the average popularity index of Ways of Survival. The number of views for the first chapter was 12,000, but it fell to 120 for the 10th chapter, and then 12 for the 50th chapter. By the time it was the 100th chapter, it was only 1. Hits equals 1. I was overwhelmed by the feeling I got when I saw the numerous 1 that appeared next to the list of chapters. In some cases there was a 2, but it was likely someone pressing the wrong button. "Thank you," I said. The author published a novel with more than 3,000 chapters with just 1 hit per chapter over a period of 10 years. It was truly a story just for me. I pressed on the recommendation board and immediately started tapping on the keyboard. I have a dope novel to recommend. The author wrote me a free completed novel, so I should give him a recommendation. I clicked on the completed button, and comments quickly appeared. It looks like a new auntie. I searched for this person's ID, and they recommended the same novel several times. Ugh. Isn't his recommendation banned? The author shouldn't do this here. Belatedly, it occurred to me that I wrote a recommendation a few months ago. In an instant, dozens of comments were covered with rhetoric such as attention seeker or dumbass. My face became flushed. I was sure the author would also read this, so I hurriedly tried to delete my post, but I only got a message saying that it couldn't be deleted because it had already been reported. There was a bitter taste in my mouth at the thought that the sincerely written recommendation ended up becoming a stain on the novel's reputation. if they even looked a little bit. Why didn't anyone try reading the interesting novel? I wanted to give a donation to the writer, but I couldn't afford it because I was a salary worker, barely able to make a living. Then, I received a notification that a message has arrived. TLS123 writes, "Thank you." A message flew in from out of nowhere. It took me a while to grasp the situation. Kim Dokcho writes, "The author?" TLS123. It was the author of Ways of Survival. TLS123 writes, "I was able to complete it to the end thanks to you. I also won the competition." I couldn't believe it. Ways of Survival won a competition? Kim Dokcho writes, "Congratulations! What is the competition?" TLS123 writes, "You wouldn't know it, because it is an unknown competition." I wondered if he lied because he was ashamed. But I wanted it to be true. Perhaps I really didn't know. It might be a big hit on other platforms. I was a little sad. But it was good to have an excellent story spreading. TLS123 writes, "I would like to send a special gift to you as a thank you." Kim Dokcho writes, "Gift?" TLS123 writes, "It is thanks to my dear reader that this story has come into the world." I gave the writer my email address as he asked. TLS123 writes, "Ah, right, I got the monetization schedule." Kim Dokcho writes, "Wow, really? When will it start? This masterpiece should have been paid from the beginning." It was a lie. The Ways of Survival was a daily series, so I would have had to spend 3,000 won a month. 3,000 won was one convenience store lunch for me. TLS123 writes, "The monetization starts tomorrow." Kim Dokcho writes, "Then the epilogue coming tomorrow will be paid?" TLS123 writes, "Yes, I'm afraid you need to pay for it." Kim Dokcho writes, "Of course I have to pay. I will buy the last one." After that, there was no reply from the author. It looked like they logged out of the site. A sense of despondency settled in. Were they leaving without even replying now that they were successful? My admiration turned into petty jealousy. What was I so excited about? It wasn't like I had written the novel anyways. Will they give me a gift certificate? It would be nice if it has around 50,000 won. Those were the naive thoughts I had back then. I knew nothing about what would happen to the world the next day.